Walmart has announced it's joining a growing number of companies cutting back on diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. As part of the new rollback, the world's largest retailer says it will no longer give priority treatment to suppliers owned by minorities and women. It will also scale back racial equity training and review its support for things like Pride Month and other events. Yesterday, we spoke to Walmart CEO John Furner, and here's what he had to say about the change.
What we're trying to do is to ensure that every customer, every associate feels welcome here to shop and to feel like they belong. And that term belong, we've been talking about belonging now for almost 2 years. Early 2023, we started talking about belonging. And we're going to continue to make the best decisions we can that makes everyone, our customers, our associates, feel like this is an environment they can shop in and thrive in.
Joining us now is the president and CEO of the National Urban League, Marc Morial. Good morning, Marc.
Thanks, Adriana, Tony. Congratulations to you guys.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for being on our show. And thank you for being here. So in your statement to Walmart, you issued a statement to them where you didn't mince words. You said that this has potentially disastrous effects. It's hasty and ill-advised. It's a hasty and ill-advised capitulation to anti-racial justice extremists. And you say it could point to a regression to a past marked by discrimination, racial profiling, and insensitivity. What do you think, Marc, will be the real-world impact of these changes?
Well, I'm dismayed by this decision because as a 20-year partner of Walmart, none of us got a heads up that they were even reevaluating or reconsidering their corporate diversity or equal opportunity initiatives. Here's what's important to remember. This company was under recriminations, lawsuits, complaints 20 years ago. The CEO at that time, Tony and Adriana, Lee Scott, led a remarkable transformation of this company over the last 20 years. And they went from worst to first class when it comes to diversity. The idea that they would throw all of that away without any careful consultation with their partners, without any real serious evaluation of the success of these programs is what dismays me. And I've communicated to the leadership of the company my desire to meet with them to have a discussion. I think what they did is succumb to a smear campaign, to threats, to bullying, and to blackmail by a handful of extremists. We need American business leaders to stand up for American values. And one value of this nation is equal opportunity. That's all diversity, equity, and inclusion is about. It's about creating a level playing field for all.
Walmart is not alone here. I mean, you have Lowe's, Harley-Davidson, John Deere, many other countries who are kind of pulling back on their diversity initiatives. Does DEI itself have a PR problem? Because these days it seems to have some baggage.
It's been smeared by a hate mob. Diversity, equity, and inclusion were a set of terms designed to create a positive, if you will, image and a positive conversation about an America for all, an America that is open to all. And now it's being smeared. It's being smeared in the same way the word affirmative action was smeared another generation ago. So the nomenclature is one thing. The value and the principle is what counts. DE&I is consistent with meritocracy because what DE&I says is give those who have merit but who've been locked out an opportunity. So these two value propositions work together.
So the Supreme Court, you mentioned affirmative action. John Roberts, Chief Justice, had a line, and I'm paraphrasing, but this is a close paraphrase, that the way to end discrimination on the basis of race is to stop discriminating on the basis of race. The argument being that by favoring people based on their gender or their skin color for a contract, if you're Walmart, you are perpetuating the very racism in a different way.
You used a word that is inaccurate, favoring. DE&I does not favor, it opens doors that have been historically closed. Look,
if but for Walmart, Marc, just in fairness, Walmart says that it gives priority, it was giving priority to Black and minority and women-owned suppliers.
So they're saying
They were not giving priority. What they were doing was opening the door to those who had historically been left out. If they had given priority, they've made great progress in minority supply and supplier diversity, but the numbers are still relatively small. They're not a significant portion of all the suppliers they do business with. I mean, that's what's important. I mean, this is still an initiative like I can say we're proud of, but an initiative that still represents a very small portion of all of their suppliers at Walmart.
So Walmart's a massive company, huge employer in America. I think it might be the single biggest employer of Black Americans, period.
Yes.
As I understand it, you're in conversation with them. You requested a meeting, or have they agreed?
I'd like to meet with Doug McMillon. Look, I know Doug McMillon. I've worked with Doug McMillon. They've been historically a strong supporter of equal opportunity. And I think that conversation would help us gain an understanding. I want to have that conversation before I think many of us in the civil rights community decide what steps we'll take or what moves we'll make. Once again, I've been a partner at the National Urban League with Walmart now for 20 years through multiple CEOs. I've watched their journey. I hope they're not a championship team that's won with the West Coast offense that now says, let's try the single wing, if you understand.
Yeah.
That what they're going to do is throw away, if you will, 20 years of progress without any real consultation with any of us and without any conversation. And they obviously have been speaking to those who oppose DE&I. I think it's important that they speak to those of us who support and promote DE&I to equal opportunity. Yeah. That's what a fair conversation is, not to make these decisions because someone comes to you behind closed doors, makes a lot of threats, suggests that they're going to run boycotts on you, and then you succumb to that pressure. I mean, this is a moment. I wanted to come and talk about this publicly because it is a moment that is so important for this country. We cannot throw away the progress we've made.
Well, Marc, let us know if you do hear back about that meeting.
I will.
And we would love to have you on to talk about how that went. Marc Morial, thank you so much.
Hey, happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving. It's a big conversation. It's bigger than just Walmart.
It is a conversation for the nation.
Thank you very much, Marc.